Welcome back to Love Life After. I know I say last episode was going to be the last of the season, but oops, we're here again because my business bestie wants to come on and share so much with you guys. So today's conversation is very special to me because we're talking about service, transition, and what it really means to step into a CEO mindset while still honoring your faith. So grab a chair and let's get started.
Baby, you're my coat. She got me feeling like a dope fiend. I'm addicted to a black queen. Baby, you're my coat. She got me feeling like a dope fiend.
Welcome back to Love Life After. I am Christelle, and today, like I said earlier, our guest today is Jania. She's a CEO, but I'm going to let her introduce herself because she has so much shit to unpack, and we're just going to go right in. And like I said earlier, I know that I said last episode was going to be the last, but my business bestie has so much she wants to share with y'all.
So I am the CEO. I'm the CEO of Huepact, which is a social impact consulting firm, but I'm also the founder and executive director of a nonprofit called Stiletto Boss University, which has really been my, I feel that I've been led to not only start it, but to build it. It is a youth entrepreneurship training program for young girls age 11 and 18. And it's really been teaching young girls entrepreneurship, but it's really been opening them up to a pathway to the life that they desire and the life that they need. And when I think more about it, with what we've done over the last 10, 11 years, is that it has been the program for the young Jania that helped me to understand life better, helped me to understand faith, and also helped me to build something for the world to use to make it a better place.
Before we dive right in, I want to talk about you. Who is Jania? So tell us a little bit about Jania.
Yes, I feel like it depends on the day. I really do. I'm not even trying to say that I'm crazy, but it really depends on the day. I think to the core of me, I'm kind, I'm considerate, I am your biggest cheerleader. I'm the person that will give you the truth, even if you don't want to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a people pleaser in any way, but also I'm just that person that wants you to be the best. But also know that we all need that motivation, because I know how much motivation I need to show up every day. So I feel like I'm a direct reflection of what I need to other people.
Okay. So one of the things that you said in your intake, you said keep going and keep serving. What does that mean to you as a person? Where did that mindset come from?
Yeah, I think that sometimes I think that mindset comes from me being in sports and being a part of things that kind of just where you had to practice and had to have this discipline and focus in order to get to the end or the desired results. But I do think that's taken on a whole different perspective being an entrepreneur. So I started my first business in 2009, but I ended up taking the leap of faith into full-time entrepreneurship in 2016. So even the more I keep thinking about or reflecting about this last 10 years, because I do celebrate 10 years in July, even this morning, I was just giving God praise with how far I've come and also acknowledgement for how he brought me here. Mm-hmm. But I do know that who I was yesterday, I'm better today when I woke up, Mm-hmm. And, I just think about all the things, people always talk about their vision boards or things that they manifested and all these things, but it's also just no, God really just opened up the pathway, and all mm-hmm. he told me to do was just walk through it. So I definitely know that me saying keep going and keep serving mm-hmm. has really been about that. It hasn't been about anything but just keeping to put your foot in front of the other, and then asking people how can you serve them, and being able to tell people how they can serve you at the same time.
Yeah. I'm one person, a person that believe in serving other, right? But I feel you mentioned being disciplined when you did that transition. So how did you find that, going from working as were you in corporate or just?
Yep, I was in corporate.
And then transitioning into full-time entrepreneurship. How did you find obedience? How was that for you?
Man, I remember having the revelation that I was going to no longer be working in corporate in December of 2013. So that was 3 years before it finally happened. So I remember in that moment of like, okay, I need to do a real assessment of myself from a self-help perspective, like a biblical perspective. I remember reading Proverbs 31, like in its full entirety, not just the part, like the full context of the book. I think sometimes people go directly to certain verses, and I'm like, no, you need to understand the whole scope of how we got to this woman, this person, this why she is the way that she is. And I remember like really like rating myself about clothes, like taking care of myself. How does she serve? You know, how does she spend her money? All these things of how I was interpreting Proverbs 31 when I was going through my reflection of self. And then it just like, oh girl, you at a scale of 1 to 10 and you like a 6. That's not good. You really need to go. You need to be shooting for an 8. You know, you need to tighten up. And you know, and these are the things that you need to be responsible for. You know, I think when it comes to women in general, and it's probably going to go a little bit to the left, but women in general, like a lot of times we are kind of like, some of us are raised in like that princess treatment, or like you have to look to a man in order to get certain things. And it's like, but no, you need to understand how to manage and operate those things, you know, for yourself as a human being. It doesn't have anything to do with your gender. So I was like, okay, if God is telling me that I'm no longer being corporate, I need to make sure my finances are together. So what is my debt? You know, what I had to pull my credit, you know, I need to dispute stuff. Like, do I even understand what my credit is looking like? You know, do I even understand what my savings, what is my lifestyle? I needed to know my number. So I feel like I went deep dive into that, and I realized that like, yo, I can't just up and quit or leave a job because I need to make sure I got no car note. I need to make sure these student loans are paid off at the time, or at least my smallest student loan at the time. I need to make sure I had a savings. I need to make sure that I paid down my credit card. Like, I had a credit card that was $500 on it, and I was just paying like $50 a month, thinking that I'm doing something. It's like, girl, the credit utilization is too high. Like, why just pay the $500? Like, I just couldn't, like, I didn't understand credit. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, these are the things what I'm saying. Like, you're not even taking care of what you need to take care of, and having the discipline around what God has given you. So that was probably phase 1, and then after I went through that of clearing up my credit and understanding and knowing what I need to pay off and what it really looked like, going into maybe phase 2 and 3 before I ended up taking the actual leap in 2016 was like, okay, well, you need to stack as much money as possible. But also, what is it that you want to do? You know that you're not going to be in corporate anymore, but what is it that you want to do? Like, you have to figure out this thing. So I think it was a lot of just self-discovery, like different self-help books. I was introduced to Lisa Nichols. I was introduced to so many other people that just kind of helped you ask you these questions. What are these questions? And also people that are around you, like, how do they see you? So it was really like a deep reflection, a deep dive within myself, because it was like, if I'm not feeling worthy, or if I'm not taking care of what I'm supposed to do, how is God going to continue to take care of me? Right? So once it finally happened in July 2016, I'm not gonna lie, I literally just was in the bed, because I didn't realize how much my mind was programmed with this structure of doing something. Like, I did not understand how structured my life was. And it's not that I don't like structure, but I needed to unlearn so many things in regards to that. And I remember, like, after really just allowing myself to rest, it was like, okay, well, what type of company do you really want to start? What did you like about corporate? What didn't you like about corporate? So a lot of it, to answer your question, was a lot of just self-discovery of like, well, what did you actually like and what didn't you like? You know, and what do you want to keep away? It's like the eat the fish, leave the bones mentality. Like, what is it that you wanted to do? And then I knew that I had this opportunity that was coming up in September of 2016. So I was like, it's okay for me to rest from July until it's time for me to go. Because once it's time for you to go, you do not stop. You know, it was literally like hustle mode. And so it was fine for me to rest. And I remember going to Turks and Caicos. I ain't had nobody's money. I mean, I had money saved, but you, girl, how are you in the whole island? It was like, what is happening? Like, how did God bring you to this island? Why are you in the sand? What is happening? So I went to Turks and Caicos, and I felt like there was just water always calms me, and then there was just this sense of peace. And I have this picture. I really need to print this picture out. But that was the moment when I was like, okay, time to keep putting one foot in front of the other. I'm out of the funk. I'm out of the, I rested. Now it's time for go mode to put this idea into action. And that's when I really went full throttle with my nonprofit.
Okay. Wow. I think like you answer everything in like all the questions that I had in mind. I'm like, okay, but you pretty much answer everything. But going back to Proverbs, right? I just started reading Proverbs. I've read it before, but the older you get, the more you read, like you find so much and you learn so much about yourself. So like going growth, like discipline, obedience, all of that is all in there. And I love that like you keep going back to faith. So how has your faith, right, like going through all of that and trying to decide if you wanted to like go full-time or just stay in corporate and going full-time, how does leadership look like for you now as an entrepreneur?
I feel like now leadership has been very much leading with true authenticity and true integrity. And what I mean by those two different things is that because everything is in my name does not mean I know everything, nor am I trying to portray that. It's me being honest about where we're at, about where we're trying to go, and about, what we're doing. But also understand I do not have all the answers. You know what I'm saying? I'm not supposed to. I'm supposed to pray to God about it. God is my business partner. I'm supposed to ask him. I'm supposed to get permission from him. He told me to do this assignment, so why would I think not to ask him how to make this money or how to how to build up this thing? Like, who am I to think, oh, he told me to do it, but he just gonna leave me hanging out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, just out here chilling. No, that's not how it is. And that's not how it is with any of the books in the Bible. From Noah, he gave specific instructions to Noah to build the ark, and so he did, even with not fully understanding to what reason, you know what I'm saying? So it's me being honest with my team or people that I'm blessed to work with and blessed to have opportunity to build with, or people that God has sent to me, but also just like, hey, this is my thought process. So I do feel like now as a leader, I'm very open about like, this is my thought process, because I do think there are often times that, especially Black women, especially now in this time, that women are getting dragged or trashed because of decisions. And it's like, well, this was the best decision to make with the information that they had. And I often tell people, sometimes you're just not educated enough to make certain decisions. Right. So if you ask me a question like, I don't have enough, and it's okay to be like that, I don't have enough information to make an educated decision. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but I know today I'm trying to focus on this, and this. So I think it's just being just very, very honest in this season.
Yeah. Thinking about starting your own podcast? Let me tell you about Buzzsprout. They've helped over 400,000 podcasters launch their shows since 2009. And I've been using them since 2017. With Buzzsprout, your episode get listed on all major platforms like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and more, reaching millions of listeners. Plus, they have a fantastic community to support you every step of the way. Still unsure? Click the link in my description and head over to buzzsprout.com to learn more. That's BUZZSPROUT.com. Again, BUZZSPROUT.com. Happy podcasting. So going back, let's go on your business, right? So what made you want to solve the problem that you started the business? What problem did you see?
For me, like, I had the privilege of going to college, and I went to one of the best schools ever, Winston-Salem State University, go Rams. And I remember going to school, I did have a problem adjusting because I had just been in a nonprofit program called Upward Bound in my high school years at Johnson C. Smith, so I had that that opportunity to like stay on campus and get that whole college vibe. So it wasn't a transition, but I also realized like me picking a major, like I really didn't know what I was passionate about. I knew I was good at science because I was a biology major, so I graduated with biology and chemistry major. But I just knew that I'm like low key a nerd. So it was just like, my mom was like, you can always have a job in healthcare. It was kind of like, it's not blaming my mom at any point, but I feel like that generation was like, get you a good job in a good industry that will never go out. So that was either healthcare, accounting, maybe engineering. Like it was literally specific fields, right? Yeah. And so I was like, okay, well, let me just go with it. But I knew immediately, I think at one point, like, I'll just be a physical therapist. But then maybe by my senior year, I was able to do an internship, and I was like, I absolutely, positively do not want to do this. And I'm too far in to like change my major, and I'm already paying, I already had to get a student loan my final semester because housing had went up. Just like, no ma'am, Miss Pam. So I think that once I went into corporate, after I finally was able to find a job, I think I was just like, oh, this is what corporate is, and it felt very monotonous, very routine. It didn't feel like there was anything that awakened me. Like it was just like, oh, people are just literally getting up, going to a job. Like I think I know what I'm supposed to be doing, but I was entry level, so I was like opening the mail. It was like I was a mail person, like in the movie Boomerang. I'm like Chris Rock. Like why? I'm just delivering people mail.
Why am I
here? For my day. So at that point, I started dabbling with starting businesses. Like I love fashion. I was like, oh, maybe I want to be a wardrobe stylist. But sharing all that to say, that situation and by me trying these different things made me realize that, oh, I have passion for other things and I can make money doing these other things. So it was just always a path leading me back to entrepreneurship, but it was always a path of like, oh, I'm still finding out what I'm good at doing or what I like doing or what brings me joy. And I just thought like, if I would have known this or had been exposed to this in high school, then I would have made a totally different decision about what my major, I would have had a better wraparound of what I wanted my major to be. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I just graduated with something. Not necessarily something that I was passionate about. So it's just like starting Stiletto Boss University was just been a part of like, oh, this would have saved my younger self. And even though I always was going to get back on path where I was supposed to, it still was like, how do we expose these young girls specifically to jobs and opportunities and skill sets that they may not even know was an opportunity.
Yeah.
So that's where it came from.
Yeah, I love that. That was kind of fun though, like for you to like go through those transition and then figure out, okay, this is what I want to do. So what do you think like that young girls are going through right now that people don't really see?
I feel like this generation, and I like them so much. I like them so much because of how they see the world, but also I think they crave what we grew up having. So what I mean by that, how they're so infatuated with the 90s and the music and the style, but also like there is some things that they just like because they only know technology. It's kind of like they're kind of pushing away from it, but even though they're still a part of it, it's kind of like a push and pull. Like, ooh, that's all I know, and I'm like, whoa, I'm the last generation that know what it was like. And what life without technology was very nice. You know, your nervous system was relaxed. You know, if you're going to talk to people, you outside. You know, it's community. I was like, now it's kind of like they're reaching for something, and you can feel it, and they're reaching for that human touch. So I would say just running Stiletto Boss with this generation, with how they see the world and community solutions. Like a lot of them are into beauty, but it's also just like one young girl, I was thinking about her. She was in one of our chapters, and basically we were like, what is something that you want to start? And she's like, I want to do a nannying service. But her nannying service was to target teen moms. And I was just like, what a unique and different way of thinking about that, because you still see that maybe teen moms are not talked about as much, you know, as it used to be, but you still see that there is a niche where they need the support, the help, They don't need to be judged. They have a child now, but they still need daycare service so they can study for their SATs or go to work, but just time off. Like, you can tell that this generation is very, very aware of their mental well-being and doing what they need to do to make sure it is intact. And so sometimes I don't think it's our fault, but I do feel like more millennials are like, we going to therapy, we picking a soft light, like we're doing all these different things. But I do think this next generation, they have more access to money a lot faster than what we did.
Yeah.
But also the world is just different. So it's almost like you have to, and if you want to get out of poverty, you're going to have to really start doing these things at an earlier age. Yeah.
It's like right now, a lot of young girls, well, especially my daughter, I feel like they don't have that human connection, right? They're just like on this phone, and she don't even want to talk to people on the phone. I'm like, girl, like, call, right, like, just call somebody, have conversation. But what would you say to a young woman listening to this right now and who feel like she doesn't feel seen or doesn't see herself as a leader yet?
Man, that's a good question, because I do think in order to see yourself as a leader, you have to see yourself, and I think people have to understand that kindness starts with yourself. You can't be just kind to other people. You have to be kind to yourself, first. And so, and sometimes in being kind, you have to go through all the things that you don't like about yourself. You have to ask yourself those inquisitive questions like, why does this trigger me? Or why do, if you feel sad, why am I sad? Are you looking at what somebody else have that ain't for you? You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a lot of self-work and self-reflection in order for you to get to that. But I do think once you've done that part, which is deep work, I do think you have to understand what type of leader you naturally are. Because all leaders are different, and all leaders have a different approach. And I definitely feel like female leaders, you may have people telling you need to be a certain type of way as a leader. You need to be bold, you need to be this. But I know in our Stiletto Boss University curriculum, we talk about words. We talk about how people call you bossy. And sometimes bossy may seem like a negative connotation. Well, how do we flip it and make it positive? Because bossy to me is not negative. Bossy means you're confident. Bossy means, you're bold. Bossy means that you have no problem going in, getting things started, and getting things executed. So we have to take these negative connotations off of these words that people may say to us and flip it for the positive. Like, I know I don't care for the term bougie, but bougie is like the best compliment anybody could ever give you.
Okay.
It really is. It's like, girl,
I believe it.
You see me clean, you see me fresh. Like, I'm giving lux, or I'm giving, but it's not even lux. It's I'm taking care of myself. Or you may see this glow about me, this confidence about me. So we really do challenge the girls in our program to take a term that may have felt like it was negative to saying what it truly is and owning that. Because if you don't own it, then you're going to allow people to keep telling you anything that you are that you don't even believe that is even true.
Absolutely. I love this conversation because I had a conversation with someone a few months ago about helping young girls, right? But like sometimes you don't really like understand what it means, like or how much you pour into them, that they really are a reflection of what you are showing them, right? Right. So let's bring it back to purpose, right? So what do you think, or do you believe that serving transform people, or has serving transformed you in any way, like being their mentor? Well, because that's what you are to them, right? Their mentor.
Yeah. It's crazy to think that, but like, yes, because I think it's crazy to think that because we're like technically 11 years old. We launched our program in 2015, and I used to be involved in all the things, and now I'm just involved in the not so fun things around fundraising and making sure infrastructure and all that stuff. You really start to really become like the CEO, like the boss. And I'm like, the true thing is everybody want to be the boss, but the boss can sometimes be just boring. It's boring. So I'm not really as hands-on with my team is. So then when I get a chance to come in or shadow or see them at our annual pitch competition that's always in May, I'm just so amazed. It revitalizes me of why I'm doing it and why I get a chance to do it. So I think if anything, service continues to inspire me. It continues to inspire me when you give somebody what comes natural to you and it means the world to them. Like I know when we started this, we had a women's program that taught women stuff, and I remember we were giving away $1,000, and I'm like, we giving away $1,000 of our own money, and I need $1,000, but I'm giving money for somebody else's business, and I ain't even invested that in mine. Like, what kind of sense is that? That's how much service I was doing. But it just brought me so much joy to know that, like, one of the people that we gave $1,000 to the pitch competition to, she basically was like, I told myself, if I don't win this pitch competition, I'm closing my business.
Oh, wow.
And she won, and now she has launched multiple businesses, and she's doing full-time entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a wow when God asks you to be a blessing or to be a part of the vessel of a blessing, and somebody takes it and run, like, it literally inspires you. Like, dang, so many people give us chances. And we take them and we soar. You know what I'm saying? But we can also be in that breaking point where it's either like, okay, maybe this is a sign, this ain't it. And then it's a sign to keep going. So I think that's what inspires me the most about just impact or how I've changed over the years. Because it's always that one thing.
It's always.
It's just like, remember, like think about, because we met, we're business besties because we met through Goldman Sachs and we're in the same growth group. But it's just like, I often think about where I was at before I got the email that we got accepted into the program. And then, like, even our first day coming into New York and that energy, it was just like, oh, I just needed to be around women like me.
Right.
Literally. Because I was literally by myself, isolated, and been doing this for so long, and everybody looking at me to lead. And it was like, I need the people that also can, that get it. Like, we didn't even have to share many words. It was just like, oh, we all get it. We gonna figure this thing out together.
Right.
And we still in it together. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just like you went from having 0 or less than 10 to like 300 sisters, immediately.
Right. Immediately. I love that. You mentioned fundraising earlier. So what keeps you going when funding and resources feel stretched?
Yeah, I would say, like, I feel like every week is something different, and this is everything I say is very real, but a couple of nights ago, it was either Sunday or Monday, and it was Sunday. It was Sunday because there was a sermon. I go to Change Church Global, and Pastor Daniel's scripture was about prayerology and like how do we pray and like understanding what that means and what that entails, and basically saying a lot of times when people pray, they are not really asking God, they're like telling God, like the difference between those things, and also acting like God don't know what you need. You know what I'm saying? Like he knows exactly what you need. So anyway, I was having this thought before going off to sleep, and I was basically like, God, I don't know if I ever asked you, but do you want me to keep this program open? Because funding has been tight, we still have stuff, we're still moving and shaking. I was like, but I don't know if I've ever asked you. So I literally just sat up in bed and said, God, like, give me a sign. Like, if this is over and this is the end of this project you have for me, I will surrender, because I don't know if my ego is in the way. Right. Not even an hour later, and this is breaking news, my member on my board called me, and she's like, I'm surprised you up. You normally sleep, which is true. And I was like, yeah, I'm up. And she was just like, yeah, she said, I have some good news. And she was like, we voted to bring SBU up to, and I won't say the name of the city, but it's another city outside of Charlotte. And I was just like, okay, God. So
he listened.
You basically answered the question.
Yeah.
So let me shut up. Suck it up,
and
keep on whatever. And I was just like, and I literally told her, I said, girl, I literally just asked God, literally, the question. And here you go calling me not less than an hour later, basically like, yeah, you're still needed. Yeah, we're going to, and granted, there's still money that needs to be raised, but step one was for them to vote us in. This is like a national organization. This is their starter chapter. So more to come on that, but that pretty much answered the question the best way about that. That's very recent.
It did.
There has always just been something that is just like, I've always said, God, if you're going to open the doors for me, you're going to have me walk through them, and the only person who close it is you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just look for him to close the doors, and if you don't, I keep walking through them.
Amen. I have another question. What do you think will happen if people truly understand the impact of supporting your program?
I think what will happen is they would see how we are saving the next generation.
Mm-hmm.
They would see how we are grooming them to be confident and stand up for themselves and to have the life that they desire, and not a life that they get tired of. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it literally is like, even though entrepreneurship is hard, do not get me wrong, it does feel good to wake up every day to build something that helps other people.
Yeah.
Like, that can't never shake it. I can't never get over it. And then to also think about all the people that have invested from the beginning, that continue to invest, that volunteer, that share, that, donate. Like, I don't care if it's $5. Like, if you are giving to us, you are supporting the mission, you're very much a part of the village to keep us going. And, like, that's the type of community economics that I want to be a part of. And that I want to continue to sustain.
Yeah.
But I definitely do think what we're building here, because we've impacted so many young girls, that young girl is going to impact another 1,500 young girls. Like, it is just going to keep snowballing, and it's just going to keep getting better and better, when people support us.
Yeah. So how can people support you?
So many ways. I mean, naturally, it's making a donation, becoming a reoccurring donor. If you're like, hey, I can give $1,000 a year, whatever what is that, $83 a month, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're able to say that commitment, reoccurring donations help any nonprofit organization because they know that money is coming in to help with cash flow. Volunteering, helps, and volunteering is either in some form of being a mentor, in some form of becoming a teacher to help teach our curriculum and content. Volunteering is at some point being a part of our committees. We have event planning, we have pop-up workshops, we have fundraising, we have all these different committees. Supporting us is always sharing. It's always lifting us up in rooms that we are not in. It's often redirecting, connecting, We thank you for allowing us to be on your platform to speak about what we do. That is a part of, spreading the word and helping us, because it increases our social capital of people that hear about us. So we're grateful for this opportunity as well. So it includes money, it includes time, and it includes treasure from everybody.
Yeah, that's beautiful. If anybody listening to this right now, what would you tell them?
Tell them,
or anybody who's in transition, or anybody who wants to support, but it's like, oh, I can't. What would you tell them, or how can you get them to support you?
Yeah, I feel like I would tell them that this is a program that's worth it. That's worth all of it, And I'm not just saying it's worth it because I'm the founder, but I really am blessed to work with a great team, people that really care, that go into these schools that we're partnered with, or these communities, and really come out feeling fulfilled. Like, when you have people on your team just telling you how much they're inspired to do the work to inspire other people, it just means the most, It's like, dang, I'm jealous. Like, I'm sitting here fundraising. I want to go, talk to the kids too. So I would just tell them that what they invest is worth it, and it'll 10 times what they'll see back in return will be 10 times.
Yeah.
10 times of what you put in, and you will see it back, because we definitely work hard, and we definitely are impacting the next generation.
Yeah. Thank you for coming, Jania. I really, truly appreciate you. I'm thinking of helping whatever way I can. I'm definitely we'll talk later, because I want to help, even if it's, just volunteer or put, be a teacher or whatever I can to do. I would definitely love that.
Oh, I have something for you, because all these girls that want to be in beauty school,
I'm ready.
We can make our own little cohort.
I'm ready.
To see actual hairstylists that actually own a salon, or actually, like different ways you can go. How to make with supplies, products. So I got something for you. I need to put you to work. Yeah.
Yay. Okay, let's do it. So where can people find you?
Yes, you can find us on Instagram at Stiletto Boss University. You can also find us. We have a page on LinkedIn, and you can also go to our website, StilettoBossUniversity.com. We are in all the places. Even if you Google us, it's not hard to find us. We have a very unique name that is trademarked. We are trademarked, so don't try it because everybody knows our name. So if you Google us, you'll find us.
Thank you so much for joining. I truly, really appreciate y'all. Y'all have to help her so she could get this program going, because if she can, then who's going to help the next generation? So I need y'all to support, reach out, and I'll put all her information in a note so y'all could go ahead and connect with her directly. Jania, thank you so much. Thank you for coming, and I can't wait to see what this, 2026 got in store for your business and for everybody who's in transition. I just hope like this episode helped them in any forms or ways. So thank you,
yes,
thank you.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
You are so welcome, and then I will talk to you soon. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye bye. If y'all have any question, comment, or concern, please email us at lovelifeafter18@gmail.com. Or if you have any feelings where you feel like, I really, really want to help this program, go ahead and reach out to Jania, and the information is all in the description box, so you can support her in any way that you can. Y'all can reach us at lovelifeafter18@gmail.com or on our social media at love.lifeafter, and we will see you next time. Thank you so much.